Welcome back.
What episode number is it?
8.
Nice.
It's been a long time.
Indeed. The name of episode 8 is Il y a des putes dans cette maison. Explanation at the end.
After some time away, we have decided to get back into the podcasting groove. And we have some relatively exciting things to talk about. The first one being yesterday we got COVID tested.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Why don't you share your side of the story? How was your experience?
It sucks. They shoved this little, it looks like one of those, think of like a little bottle cleaner or something. I don't know what those things are called. Little brushes on a metal tip. They clean shit. One of those, like a miniature one that goes inside your nostril, and they send it like straight up into heaven. And then they just scrub a little. I had like a sinus reaction for the next 2-3 hours where I just felt like my entire sinus system had been irrigated. And it just felt like I just had to make a whole bunch of noises, and it was terrible. It was fucking terrible.
So I don't know what clinic you went to.
Same one as you. You're right there.
So, okay, if we start from the beginning, we filled out an assessment kind of call thingy online, and then we went to a hospital. So the hospital called us back. They gave us a number, so we didn't have to wait in line. There was no line anyways. So we got accepted right away. He went first. They called you first. I was going to go before you, but they called your name.
Called me to hell.
And then what did they tell you to do? Like, what was the process?
Stand here, sir. Would you feel better sitting down? Proceeds to pull out a chair. No. Okay. Stand here, sir. Don't go up this nostril. You got to go up this one because the other one it's been compromised. I've had surgery. It needs more surgery. Turn me the other way. And they say, just remove your mask down to your mouth. And we're going to take this fucking lightsaber and jam it up your fucking nose. And I'm like, what? And then they just, hold on, stay steady. And they just proceed to just really like disrespect your space. Not even try to go gender. Think of, if you're black, think of when your mother braids your hair after you done pissed her off. Yes. Think of that feeling where there's no regard for your boundaries. Just sit the fuck still. Just sit the fuck still with that thing. And it just, it gets up in there, and then they got to stay there for at least a second and scrape your walls. And
So this guy yells. He's like, ah! Like, during 2 times. He made that noise.
2 times? Well, they tried 2 times.
It was like, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, the whole thing. The whole thing from start to finish, from him going into the door. It's like a sliding door that opens and then you just kind of go in. We didn't like go into a building and wait in a waiting room. We were outside waiting, and we went into this like sliding door opens like a foyer, and they have it right there. And I don't know, we got different nurses, so maybe that's the case.
Maybe.
Because when I did mine, I walked in, there's like a whiteboard kind of splitting, like there's a whiteboard in front of you. And then the nurse told me to look straight. I was like, all right. And she goes, I'm gonna, like, she said, pull down your mask under your nose, but still covering your mouth. Okay. She shows me like, it's like a really long Q-tip. It basically looks like a long Q-tip, but it's
an extended tip.
It's like this long. It's like this long of a Q-tip, like 3 Q-tip lengths, and it's thinner than a Q-tip. It's thinner than a Q-tip.
Yes. It's sneaky.
And the end is not like as big as a Q-tip. It's much thinner than a real Q-tip.
With bristles.
So I didn't see
I
the bristles.
looked.
I did not look. I did not care because I knew
it's got a whisk.
Well, I didn't care what was it. Anyway, so the nurse, she's like, okay, I'm gonna insert this in your nose. Just breathe. I was like, all right. She's like, breathe through your mouth. I'm gonna insert this in your nose, and then I'm gonna remove it. You might feel slight. Your eyes might get watery. You might feel some pressure, but that's it. And I was like, all right. She puts it in. I feel it. She takes it out. I'm done. Like, I didn't feel anything. There was no scraping going on. She did it once. It was like zoop, zoop, and that's it.
The child who went in before us made the same sounds. I know, keyword child is what you're going to try to say, but that's not relevant. It's a human, and the human felt it. It was invasive.
It's supposed to be invasive.
But this was just like psychologically invasive. I felt like it was in my fucking frontal cortex.
Okay, honestly, it was not that bad.
I ain't faking it.
No, but you also have a very low pain tolerance.
That doesn't matter.
You have a low pain tolerance.
Tolerances matter.
You have a low pain tolerance for pretty much many things.
All pain tolerances matter.
They don't. Only yours matter right now.
That's where it counts.
It was not painful. For me, maybe I just got a nurse who was like really...
You got the black love.
You should have asked for the black love then.
I got the chicken fried rice, quick, $5.
You got me?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I guess we switched. They were like, you know what? Let's switch it up. Let's switch it up. Let's serve other communities today.
It was served with a smile. But it hurt.
Yeah, but I bet you moved. I didn't move at all.
First she said, close your eyes. I don't trust you.
She didn't tell me to close my eyes.
How am I supposed to close? I'm going to have an even worse reaction. I feel like I'm going to get stabbed in my brain or something. It's so invasive.
All of the toiling that occurred during your time, it took 5 minutes. With me and no toiling, it took like 2 minutes. She gave me the instruction for the first minute, and then the next 30 seconds was the whole procedure, and then it was like, that's it. It took 2 minutes.
It sucked.
I would not be opposed. If I had to do it again, now that I know what it's like if...
I've done my duty.
I've done your duty, but let's say I was really actually exhibiting symptoms. We went because we're traveling to Vancouver in like a few days. So, and I want to see my grandma, and she's 93. We're staying with people to make, just so that people feel comfortable.
Do our due diligence.
And now that I know what it's like, I would definitely go back there. I would ask for the same nurse, and I would be able to do it. I would be able to do it now that I know what it's like, because it's just really not that bad.
I'm switching.
I was very nervous in the beginning, but I just not as nervous as you, obviously. But
been sweating that thing for 3 days. I felt like what it looks like watching those people who get executed and it's their last day and they're walking to their chair. That's what I felt like. Like, I can't believe I'm gonna go let somebody do this to me.
Your knees weak, palms were sweaty, vomit on your sweater already.
Oh, God. Spaghetti and manger des propres.
Oh my God. But it really wasn't that bad. And I also felt like maybe it's just because it's been a while now that COVID has been out, but it didn't take long, like the process.
No, it was very quick.
It was pretty quick.
It was efficient.
Yeah.
It was very well done, executed from A to Z. Yeah,
very safe. Like the process that they had, even when we were they call you and then they assess you through the phone, then they give you the number, and then you have like 72 hours to complete the test. So all that made it super easy. And even when we looked at the place where if you didn't have a number and it wasn't the fast track, there were like 3 people in line.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of people. And the fact that it's at a hospital.
It was safe.
Yeah, I felt safe. I
felt very safe.
Rather than going there's like a lot of COVID testing centers that have popped up in Ontario. Some of them are attached to medical facilities. Some of them are not. They're near, but they're not necessarily like part of it. This place was like a women's hospital.
Yeah.
So they're used to, having to be gentle with their patients.
Don't you fucking think past me.
I can't believe how bizarre your reaction was.
It wasn't bizarre within context.
Bizarre
I was being violated.
I think bizarre in contrast to my reaction to it. Because my reaction was like, meh. Like there was no reaction versus yours. It's like night and day. It's like we had 2 different tests. It's possible we did because we had 2 different nurses.
Well, I didn't like it, but I'm glad I did it. Results are great.
Oh yeah, we got our results. Well, we got our results.
Top notch.
We got our results in less than 24 hours. So we went there and did the test at like 3 p.m. yesterday. And then we got our results.
I got treats after.
Yes. I got him a big venti. Venti iced peach green tea lemonade with ice and extra syrup. Extra cane sugar.
Indeed. You fucking sweet boy.
Yeah.
Fucking sweet boy.
And I treated myself to Muji.
A less sweet one.
A less sweet one. It was good though.
Yeah,
There's something about Starbucks though, you know? It really hits the spot.
My nail
sometimes.
just popped off.
It's disgusting.
That's awesome.
I hope we find it somewhere.
Should I put it on camera?
No, don't. Nobody wants to see those feet.
You know what? Let us know in the comments whether or not you were curious what this looked like.
Let us know in the comments.
I'm going to take a picture of it so I can provide it.
If you're listening on Spotify, be blessed. You do not need to see what is occurring right now. It's just, just take it off. That's the, it looks good in portrait mode though.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
Look, that looks like, I don't know if COVID had
keeping it.
That looks like COVID.
Boy, looking good, boy.
You better take that off.
Nah, it's kind of neat.
It's gonna snag.
Nah, I think that's what I snagged before when I was walking here. Ah, lovely.
Anyways, that was our COVID testing experience.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're both negative. We can. Although when I was reading it, the way that they word it is like, I was telling Abby, and she's like, it's the way you read it is like, you are not the father. Because they don't say test negative. They don't have like a color, like a red to indicate that it was negative or anything. It says COVID-19 not caps lock detected in real time,
Indeed.
blah, blah, blah test, PVRC test or whatever. And I'm like,
all I saw was don't got it. That was good.
Because they also say if you have it, they'll call you.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, you won't get a call because there's just too many. Like,
there's
it's
no point.
Not efficient. Which is, it's like the doctor when you get blood tests and stuff.
Yeah.
If there's nothing wrong with you, they don't contact you. If there is, they call you. So it was really seamless and less overall, less painful, less cumbersome in terms of the process than I expected. Because there's so many other things that I was reading about, like other COVID testing centers in Ontario where you have to wait like 3 hours. You have to wait 2 hours, or you see the lineup and people are like waiting in the heat. It was hot yesterday, but we waited a minute for that kid to do his thing.
And I observed him, and I could see what was coming.
Do you think that was better or worse that you saw him go before you?
It made me realize that I'm not crazy.
Right. See, then it's good that you went before me.
No, because I see him, so I knew that what I was fearful of, people were feeling. He felt it.
Yeah, but which means either way, me going first or whatever, it's just good you went.
I wanted to delay my death. The execution is coming.
So you want me to die before you?
No, you don't feel like it's death. You believe in Jesus. You about to rise or something. I don't know. But I was not trying to get
I do believe I
there.
am anointed.
There you go.
That's why I didn't feel it. Great. Well, it's kind of related.
Baseball.
Our next topic.
Wait. Sports for the Spanish. Sports.
Sports in COVID times.
Indeed.
Which is kind of related to what we were talking about, because how often do the players get tested?
I think every couple of days. I'm not sure between the NHL and the NBA. I'm not sure what their test rate is, but at this point they haven't reported a positive result in forever, so I don't think they're that concerned with their testing, but it still happens. Nonetheless, that's gotta suck. I don't know if I keep playing.
Like I didn't have the same reaction as you, but it's not something I want to do like every 5 minutes or every day. It's not something I would do every day, or every other day if I had to be playing sports.
If I had LeBron James pull, I'd say, listen, I'm out this bitch unless you give me instructions on how I can administer it, and we can verify by me making it to a certain point that you agree is acceptable, and I perform the motion and I give it back to you. If not, I'm out this bitch.
I would prefer that a medical professional does it and I don't do it.
I can be taught.
No. I would not trust you to take my blood if it was a blood test.
Taking my blood.
I would not trust you to take your own blood. You are you can't.
No, not a blood test. A blood test I would let them do, but this swab business, I can navigate that. I can navigate this.
No, because you probably wouldn't go so you go, and like it would.
No, but I would know. Further, bitch.
No, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I doubt it. So. Anyways, so far, I feel like I like watching the NBA. I feel like there's almost no change in terms of watching because of the way that it's filmed. It looks very similar
Yeah.
to what their actual like
They
what it
have a
looks like all the
smaller
time.
playing surface than the NHL, so
Yeah.
like the zoom in onto it already reduces the actual fan view
Yeah.
in general.
And
So it's harder to be bothered.
and they have the screens up where you could
Mhm.
see fan reactions, and there've been like super funny ones. Oh, it's my hair and some dust.
Shrimp.
There have been some like funny reactions, like Paul Pierce being in the crowd and reacting to Boston, and a bunch of like other people have popped up. I don't know yet if they are letting real fans in,
I don't know.
but I know that in the beginning they were just testing it out with like people from the NBA and
Yeah.
you
I
know
think
a certain
saw
group
Shaq
of people.
in there.
Yeah, but
You know-
I like it. I actually really like watching the NBA right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even care about fans not being there because the value of the gameplay has been very high. Like each game has mattered, so you've seen teams go at it, put their best performances out there. The stars really become or show that they're the stars versus just players.
Yeah.
It's been fun to see. Now that it's real playoffs time, this should be interesting. Hopefully the Raptors can do what they got to do.
Yeah.
I like to see the
I mean,
Lakers do that too.
I've never really been. Well, that's not true. I was talking to Jen about this before, but we used to watch basketball. Jen was my sister, Jen. She's been a big basketball fan when she was a kid. And then when I was a kid, we watched basketball together. So I got really into basketball in elementary, but then I kind of like stopped watching sports for a certain period. But I was really into basketball. And now I can kind of see myself getting back into it in a way because I will still always be annoyed by the refs. I will always be annoyed by refereeing in the NBA because it's so I don't know how to describe it. It's not stringent.
Yeah.
It's not like standardized all the time. So even if as a
It's very
fan,
objective.
yeah, even if as a fan you're like, yeah, I know what a foul looks like that doesn't matter because you're not there and you're not the
Yeah.
ref and you're not watching the play right beside them. So that's a little bit more difficult. Whereas in hockey, you
Like
more
you get
more
called
often than
out.
not,
You get called out for making a call that doesn't make sense very quickly. Like after the game through media, through outlets, and it's noticed by the league. Now the league might not officially state they acknowledge the the decision being bad, but the way that they have their ref system, where the best refs get to ref the most important games by the amount of review after the game of whether or not they thought that play was good, kind of ensures there's less of a discrepancy versus the other leagues like the NFL. Oh my God, you can't bet on that. It can be like the ref literally is like a 20% variable in each game. You can't bet on that. It's terrible.
I don't watch football enough to really know.
It's terrible.
But I find that I get I consider myself able to call an offside. Being able to know what an offside is and watching go, yeah, it's offside.
Yeah,
More often than not,
it is what it is.
either I'm wrong or it's got to be that I'm wrong. It's never that the ref's wrong on an offside. It's very rare. But when you're watching basketball and I'm like, that's a charge. And they're like, no, that's not a charge. I'm like, what? That's a freaking charge.
Yeah.
No matter how many times they show the
So
replay,
objective.
they don't even contest it. They're like,
And there is no way to contest it.
that's a charge. That's a charging foul. Like, I don't get it. Those piss me off the most because I think the NBA is notoriously bad for being able to call charges specifically. They've
Very
never been good at it, which is why I know so much about it. Because when I used to watch, it's like, did they plant their feet? Did they move? Did they do did they obstruct the play
It's
of some
very
sort?
objective.
It's too much. So, but I do think you're right that the quality of play hasn't gone down. If anything, it almost seems a little bit more intense.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Because it's like they have nothing else to distract them. So
And those games matter
Yeah.
for seeding purposes. Like they actually matter. It's the end of the regular season in a shortened way. So they actually it got restarted properly. Both leagues, NHL and the NBA, they restarted very well. Major League Baseball, hey, that's another. That thing's not finishing.
They should
It's
just
not finishing.
call it off. Everybody has COVID.
It's not finishing. Like they're playing catch-up games now, and We'll see. We'll see. They might find a way to get to the end and then eventually get into a bubble for something. But it's gonna be the most like after the Astros winning and then how they handle this COVID season. It's gonna damage the Major League Baseball brand to the point where I'm wondering if it's gonna affect expansion into markets like hopefully Montreal. I wonder how it's gonna affect how COVID's gonna affect all of that.
Yeah,
Federal
if they
money for
don't
the
find
park.
they don't find a good way to contain COVID for the MLB the same way they've done it in the NHL and NBA bubbles. Like, I gotta say, the NHL and the NBA have done everything they possibly
Yeah.
could by pouring money into creating this sort of like this bubble.
Bubble.
And
Blah, blah.
and so far, there's been no cases
None.
in either of the leagues.
Things are just going.
Yeah,
And
you can
we're missing a
see-
game right now.
Yeah,
Oh, can't wait to watch. Hopefully, we'll be able to watch the Habs game later on.
later today.
Yeah,
You'll find a way either way.
that's very true. I gotta charge my phone.
Oh yeah. Oh, I have a external.
Sweet.
This is not relevant, sorry. But really, I think that because they've been doing a good job, maybe the players are feeling a little less apprehensive.
Yeah,
Because
no,
I think
the
there's a
players
good
have
amount.
bought in.
Yeah. They're like, okay, let's do it. Except for that one dude who always has a hole in his mask. It's kind of funny.
Tuukka Rask went home to be with
Tuukka
his
Rask
family.
went home.
I got nothing
But
against
that-
that, but you shouldn't have
that's-
came.
But that's different though, I think, because it's not like it was a rash decision to have a kid now. Like
No.
they planned it so that there wouldn't be any hockey and he wouldn't miss any part of the game.
Yeah.
So it's not his fault that it started then, but then he should have just been like, okay, I'm not gonna play then.
Yeah. He knew. But not mad with somebody for realizing an error and then deciding to point it out, say, hey, that also is still valuable, I'd say. He still at least did what he had to do. He's doing what he has to do.
As long as the people who matter to him are fine with his decision and he's fine with the decision, like if him and his wife and like his family, that's what they decided is the best for them to do,
Yeah.
then it shouldn't really matter what the
Yeah.
league has to say, because all that stuff is going to come and go at some
And the
point.
league is formally supporting him.
They
There are
can't-
pundits who don't, but his
Yeah.
teammates are, and that's all that really needs to happen.
The league they can't really, if they say anything in regards to it, they're going to look bad.
Yeah.
Because if you say, oh, you shouldn't have done X, Y, Z, and the
The league
and-
doesn't care. It's his team.
and it's because he's going to spend time with his family and because he has a newborn, there's no way to not
Yeah.
look like an ass by opposing that decision.
Yeah.
So they kind of have to say we support it.
Yeah.
But they can say
I don't
we
think they
support
have any
it.
skin in the game, though.
Hmm?
I don't think the league has any skin in the game. It's the Bruins organization that's pissed. They're the Pistons.
They're pissed because it's Tuukka Rask.
Pissed because they're trying to get a cup, and now they have a backup who has never played a game.
Could they get a cup though?
This was a cup year that they were in the cup final last year.
So who do you actually think could win the Stanley Cup?
I was thinking about betting, but it's too whittled down at this point. There's not enough bang for your buck where it's a safe investment. From the West, either Vegas, the Avalanche, or who else was it? Vegas or the Avalanche, or if St. Louis can bounce back against the Canucks, I'd say the Blues, but I think Vegas or the Avs are going to take it from the West and from the East. I don't know. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. But I like Columbus and I like Carolina. And I liked the Bruins until Tuukka Rask left.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
What about your
I'm hopeful, but I'm also realistic. But I'm hopeful, but it's going to be a great run. It's going to be a great run.
I never thought I would be so interested in sports, but
It's fun.
I like watching basketball. I'm surprised how much I like
I can't move my pinky.
Stop. I'm surprised how much I like watching basketball more so than hockey right now. Because I like hockey more.
Mhm.
Because I understand it. Not that I don't understand basketball, but oh yeah, we played softball.
Yes. And I tried to be a superhero who was catching a foul softball from over the fence with my bare hands. Because I'm like, hey, I grew up playing cricket. I grew up playing baseball, watching cricket, playing a little bit of cricket, and I try to catch this fucking big ass ball, and my entire finger is inflamed. I can't move it, can't stretch it, can't do nothing with it. Can't put no pressure on it.
I wasn't trying to be a superhero, but I just was. Because sometimes I suck at playing sports.
You did good.
But I wasn't terrible. And this guy has high standards, so.
You did good. You did good.
We got matching cleats.
Indeed.
But I really do think they made a big difference. I thought it was a little too extra because it's like, you know, if someone who's never played hockey, but they have all top of the line, everything, they come in, they have the Team Canada, Sidney Crosby captain's jersey, and they have like the best skates and everything, and you're like, you've never played a game in your life.
That's me with my jerseys when I go in those ice rinks.
Sure, but your equipment still isn't, you know what I mean?
No, I'm saying sometimes when I go in there with that $300 jersey on, they're like, you're playing in that? I'm that guy. Sometimes like, yeah.
Oh, because that's something that they wouldn't play in?
Yeah,
that they would like.
You're supposed to post it up, man.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
No, I'm supposed to fucking wear it.
Yeah, so, I like hockey jerseys.
Indeed, I'm a big fan.
But I want a Jordan jersey, but I want an Allen Iverson jersey.
Fair.
Those two.
We should do a topic at some point in the future on jerseys.
Sure.
I like to show my jersey collection.
How
beautiful.
Many
oh, half of them are not here. Never mind.
Oh. Both of mine are here because I don't have anywhere to store them. Wait, I only have 2. Right, 2 hockey jerseys. But I will be getting maybe 2 more, but they have to be special ones. They have to be before they retire.
Fair.
Next topic.
Verzuz is going downhill like slalom. At least with this last one. Rick Ross and 2 Chainz, I was really hopeful because I like both. I thought they both had 20, they had enough catalog to fill in the 20 slots, however those slots can be filled. I thought it was going to be quite Drake heavy and they'd have a Drake bag moment. But all they really had was a moment of them sitting there thinking they were cooler than fucking Ice Cubes, doing nothing. 2 Chainz didn't even rap to his fucking tracks. He just played them and just... Yeah. Out. He did nothing. You could have just fucking played his music. Or put a hologram there or something. It was disappointing.
It was disappointing. They didn't really... I don't know, it was like they didn't have a good back and forth like track listing almost, where DMX, you could almost as a fan anticipate what he's going to play next, then what you think Snoop Dogg is going to play next, and that's why their verses was so good, because the music choices were really that good. They picked the right songs in their catalog to like go head to head, so it's like you're really listening to hit after hit, where as a fan you're like, yes, this is what I was waiting for, or you're anticipating certain things. With this one I was kind of like, yeah, okay. What's next? I
was kind of just waiting for their Drake bag, to be quite honest.
Yeah. And in my opinion, because I'm not the biggest, I don't follow Rick Ross or 2 Chainz that much. I like 2 Chainz more. But I feel like in their early careers, they were only really good as features, especially 2 Chainz for me. Like Rick Ross's, I can't even tell you a full Rick Ross album that I like. A full album. At least with 2 Chainz, he came out later with Pretty Girls Like Trap Music.
Pretty Girls Like Trap Music. That's a classic.
That's a good album, but that didn't come until like later.
Yeah, that's true. He's grown more as an artist. Yeah. His skill level was always present, but his artistry has caught up to his skill level, so he has less of a girthy bag to pull from. See,
it would have been good if they just accepted, embraced that they're feature people, and then played their top features, their biggest bangers, back and forth, because at least those are the songs that we're all waiting for. And then, sprinkle in some of those individual songs here and there. But it's just...
They ended up being a bad matchup because they were both too cool for fucking school.
Yeah. True.
Like, how you getting strippers into place and massages? You're supposed to be working.
Maybe that's what their goal was. That's what they wanted to express. Which is weird because 2 Chainz is funny as hell. Like he has a personality. He's interesting to watch. He's interesting to listen to because he has that show on Vice, the most expensive as shit. And like he's funny. So I was hoping that
personality.
I was hoping that would come out, but he just seems so subdued.
Yeah.
And like uninterested.
He's in his feelings now, from what I hear, because people are scoring it like 17-3, 15-5. Like they're really fucking clowning him, and he's like, "So y'all done bullying me yet?" Like he's saying that like out loud. Like,
really?
I'm surprised. Like, hold on. He's really heard about all this. It really got to him.
It just wasn't good altogether, because even if they score it that way, like at the end of the day, sometimes even if the scoring went a certain way, that other person was maybe, you know, more animated or like kept the party going or whatever.
Everything mattered.
Yeah. Neither one of them really did much.
Just like the Jagged Edge in 112 is a waste because nobody could hear anything. People don't think about it because the performance of it was trash. Not the music. They were there because the music is not trash. How they executed was trash. And this was the first joint session of Verzuz that was just straight trash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking poubelle.
I mean, even Alicia Keys and John Legend was better than this one.
Pretty shit. Sorry.
What?
Poubelle, I said pretty garbage as a translation, but it's pretty shit.
Oh.
Yes.
I was like, that one wasn't that shitty.
No.
That was pretty decent. Because at least they were like singing with each other. They did duets.
They were playing music.
They were doing stuff together. They were playing music. They would play their own music. They were dropping new music. There was like dynamics there.
They can play music because they have music to play physically.
Yes. And they played it together too. Yeah. Like even DMX and Snoop Dogg, they would rap each other's songs, and they would basically, as if they were
provide context and backstory.
Yeah.
They made it an engaging process. Yes.
It was supposed to be a TV show.
These two sat there like, hey, did it start yet?
Yeah.
Like they actually literally said, hey, did it start yet?
Yeah, like how do you not know? And they didn't engage the audience.
No.
Whereas like DMX and Snoop Dogg were looking at the thing thinking there's only 10 people and like making jokes and stuff like that. And like, I don't know, maybe it's that they're not. Maybe as a Verzuz works really well for people who are goaty.
Yeah.
Like
who aren't still trying to get there. People who aren't too cool for school at this point. Like they know that they're certified.
Who was the first Verzuz?
Who was it?
Oh, I kind of remember.
Was it Babyface and
Teddy Riley?
Yeah.
See, that was the first Verzuz. They're goats.
Yeah.
They have a full catalog. They're like, yeah, you know, they don't have to compete for anything. It literally is exactly what it was intended to be.
Let's go down memory lane with this goat shit.
Exactly. Second one, Erykah Badu and Jill Scott. Same. They're like, they're not necessarily releasing new music. They're goats.
Can't touch them.
Next, Nelly and Ludacris.
Yeah.
They've had their run of music. They're doing other things.
That was the perfect introduction to the hip hop side.
Yes. They're pretty much goats.
And they were the perfect equivalent of what a Verzuz should be. Like, hey, these two, same time, same style of catalog, same time range, same accolades, demographics. Like, hey, yeah, go for it.
And that was fun.
Yes.
That was fun to watch. Then, who was it? Beanie Man?
Was it them next?
I think it was them next. I think it was Beanie Man, and then following them was 112. And people were like, why? Yeah, so Beanie Man Bounty, goats. Classic goat status. They made Verzuz like super. People started talking about it even more.
Like, yo, the Jamaicans did it proper.
Yes.
They did it proper.
And everyone was like, oh, we thought they didn't have good Wi-Fi. Hey, we thought their tech would be out.
Digicel must have hooked them up because usually
was pure power.
Hey, I don't trust Digicel. That was some special hookup.
Hey man, Usain Bolt.
Yeah,
Digicel's star power.
I'm sure he gets a good hookup too to his spot. Hey,
so maybe they
build a tower right here. So.
They probably were at the tower.
Yeah.
So they're goats. Then Jagged Edge and 112 goats of R&B.
Indeed.
They also had the gospel goats in there. It's not my cup of tea, but they were the goats. Kirk Franklin is a goat. Can't remember the other.
Exactly.
But because it's not my bag.
Indeed.
But I know that Kirk Franklin is a goat enough because I actually know him. What is that?
Fuck your bag.
Funny how that comes up right after I talk about the gospel version. I say Kirk Franklin and that's what he does.
Why not?
Then after that was Alicia Keys and John Legend. Obviously goats.
Indeed.
Because they're like past They did all their Grammy shit. They expanded. They're just like living their family life now, pretty much. Both of them.
Just collecting bags.
They are. They're just royalties upon royalties. Some new music, but it's not like just doing good in the world now. Then after them was DMX Snoop.
Yes. Classic.
Were they right after? Was there another one in there? No. It was DMX Snoop.
Fab and Jada.
Oh yeah. Oh, but that one was hilarious.
Yes, they provided entertainment.
Yes, that one was hilarious. That one was good
Fab
too.
Fab played himself though, but they provided entertainment.
Yeah, they're also GOATs because they've already
their
been.
status doesn't change.
Yeah,
keeping it gangsta.
They have their catalog. They've already it's not like you're hearing new music from Fabulous every day. Jadakiss has his podcast and everything.
Didn't even know he had a podcast.
Is it him who has a podcast? He does have a podcast.
Maybe. I don't know. Who doesn't?
I'm sure.
It's like the 2000s mixtapes.
True.
We all got one.
Anyways.
We got one. Yeah. Who is we? We is we.
Okay, then after that was Snoop Dogg and DMX.
Yes.
Which was hilarious.
Indeed.
Like had all culmination. They really hyped.
Fat DMX, FDMX. FDMX.
But he's so cute. Like he prayed, he gave us his ad libs, he grunted. Even though he was tired and he looked like super fiending, he was still rapping all his lyrics, rapping Snoop's lyrics, giving stories.
He was engaging.
Oh, he was super engaging, and I like this one. He's just sitting up, still doing that.
I gotta engage. Stay awake, D. Stay awake.
Snoop was those two were GOATs. Like,
indeed,
they don't change. I'm not gonna say Rick Ross is a GOAT, and I'm not gonna say 2 Chainz is a GOAT.
I'd say that they will go down eventually as GOATs, but at the moment they're still prime producers of content.
Yeah, like they're
in the game still heavy.
They're not really,
They haven't crested over.
You can't, at least with them, there's an argument to be had, but with the other ones, you can't argue that those other people are GOATs.
Indeed.
So I think it was just these people are too young in their career to be on Verzuz.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you got to be a GOAT to be on Verzuz. Because if it's a celebration and you're going 20 songs, you got to make sure that the 20 songs aren't just your 2 albums every song.
Yeah.
You got to have 20 albums.
Not
10 albums, some kind of minimum.
I'd say 7 albums out.
Or even a certain era of time. You have to have passed, you've had to put music out over an era of time and then done something else.
That's fair. You've had to flip your acquired status multiple times.
Yeah. Like when you said going down memory lane, it literally has to be that. But these aren't memory lane things for Rick Ross and 2 Chainz.
This was last year.
Yeah.
Can't really do that.
Where you're learning, with DMX and stuff, we're literally learning about the history of music with them because they were around for stuff that...
Yeah, it's true. And it's the backstory that they can give. Like when Luda and Nelly talked about Moneymaker, having to have Nelly, but then they couldn't get it done. That's what you get from people who are on GOAT level status.
Yeah.
Because they can look back and tell you some GOAT stories.
Yeah.
Rick Ross and them can't. So I was down in Miami and I made Hustlin'. Yeah, we were there. I was wearing 3 shirts, triple XL. I was there. Same corner.
I graduated high school. What year was that?
Every day I'm hustling.
2006.
Was it? Yeah, I think it was.
2006. All I know is that was one of my jams.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the first time.
An ocean.
Yeah, that was the first time I had actually cared enough to listen to an entire Rick Ross song.
Hustling.
But I do think that it's a good song. It's good lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that the TI-50 thing would be funny. I don't know if it's the best matchup,
it's
but
not
it would be
gonna
funny.
happen. And what I'm coming to realize, 50 doesn't have much catalog and length of run. He just had a really, really hot few years where he was the shit. But then he got taken out by Kanye and it was downhill from there, but he diversified. He said, fuck these niggas.
I'm going to have my own production.
I'm going somewhere else. I'm still 50. Bitch.
But he's super successful.
Indeed. He's still 50.
He has his production company. He's putting out Film, like he's in film now. He's a
got
business.
rich quick with music, and then he said, "Okay, next one,
That's smart though.
next one."
That's smart.
I fuck with 50.
That's smart. Just because you start with music doesn't mean you have to have it be your driving force.
Indeed.
Which is, I think, what all of them end up doing anyways. But he really, like, never mind. Like, move on.
All of those rappers in the early 2000s who actually did something like progressed or or did no, like we're actually doing that music process, and they were running it like a business in certain ways. They eventually realized that that's a transferable skill in many ways. Haha. Haha. Just saying.
Well, yeah, look at Ludacris.
Look at all of them.
I know, but Ludacris, if I really think, if you really think about people, Ludacris got the freaking Fast and the Furious franchise.
Yeah.
That's a huge franchise.
But just that alone is everything.
Yeah.
Just that alone. So it's kind of like, you got to give me a few more things.
I know, but...
That's one of those, like, Tyrese has a piece of that, so come on.
No, but Ludacris also has that, he's doing that kids thing.
Yeah, true. No, but that's something where he's branching out. He always has branched out.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I think he branched out.
Multiple times.
And he went into acting first.
Yeah.
He went to acting. Yeah. And then when he blew up, I think he built enough that now he's starting this thing where...
There goes the neighborhood.
What?
The blacks are moving in.
Just... starting with you.
It's funny. Come on.
Anyways. Yeah. I don't know who would come in to save it, but I do think a good, like, down south. Do you think who would be a good southern matchup? Because I don't think there has been one.
Maybe a Slim Thug versus Paul Wall, an all Houston matchup. That would be nasty.
True. But I don't. But again, I think Paul Wall.
No.
I think Paul Wall would go.
You'd have to go with UGK and somebody else, because out of respect, you got to go in a certain order. Yeah, UGK, Outkast.
Because they can play their songs together and they can play their songs apart.
It'd be sad that Pimp C's not there, but they'd find a way to honor him.
They would. They would.
I think that would be a good one. UGK and Outkast, Battle of the South.
Yeah, that would be a great one to start with, because the South is funky.
Indeed.
The South has like a different...
And they have their
flavor.
track together. Wow.
Exactly.
I forgot about that.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Indeed.
International Players Club. That's just one.
Like, they could just
They have
end
multiple
off with
songs
that.
together. Yeah, and it's such a positive song.
Indeed.
Who else? I don't.
I
They
think
would.
that's
They
the
wouldn't
one.
get. They wouldn't get Outkast though.
I think that's the
Do you
one.
think they would?
I think they could.
I don't know, man. Andre is out there.
I think he would do it for this, because it's a controlled setting.
But are they cool, Andre and Big Boy?
Yeah. As far as I know. But what do I know?
I don't know. That's why I asked. You never know.
As far as I know.
I think they
not
could.
be?
That would be great. That would be amazing if Outkast. Oh my god, I love Outkast so much.
That'd be a good one.
I wish I
Ça
could.
serait bon,
I wish
man.
I would have been able to see Outkast.
Ça serait
I've never seen
écœurant.
That would be the one to bring it back then. Outkast and UGK.
Back in the time. Way back.
Anyways. All right. Last. I always say all right.
All right.
Alrighty then. Last topic of the episode. New releases. Which do you like better? Drake featuring Lil Durk or Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion?
Wow. So here's my perspective.
What is your perspective?
Because, everybody wants it. Here's my perspective.
You say everybody wants it, no one.
Yes. Hey, it is what it is. But I think WAP is a bigger song because the beat's fire. The lyrical content, which we will delve into later, is executed stupendously. And the video as well has been executed in a way that will cause a exponential thirst trap of sharing amongst that demographic. Thirst trapping, whatever. Then so now the Drake track, the beat's good. The song's good. The video's fire. But it has Drake. And unfairly, at the same time though, unfairly as it may be, he's at a GOAT level that they aren't at. So whenever he drops anything that approaches his GOAT quality, it's going to just set ablaze.
Except for those last two.
But they weren't approaching, like it wasn't a track where you're like, hey, I really, really, really like this. This is a track where it's like, hey, I like this song again. So like when you're a GOAT and you get a song that's really, really good, it's like, hey, one of those. It's like a nostalgic, he's brought it back. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he executed with this one. So it gives you, I feel like this track has as much setup anticipation as Too Much did when he performed it on Jimmy.
Oh, I love that song.
Indeed.
But it's a different style of song.
No, but the caliber of song made you hopeful for the effort that would be put into the rest of the work.
Right.
So he has a GOAT advantage whenever he enters any discussion like this. But I think overall, WAP is going to be a bigger song.
I think he has GOAT status with his songs because he coined a specific sound. Yeah. That like you can't mistake that
he's
for
the GOAT
anybody.
Of it.
Yes, exactly. He's the
Alpha
trailblazer of that type of music. Not to say that no one else does it or didn't do it or whatever, but he's the person who really put it on the map. Yeah. And like, this is emo.
He's the signature.
And the thing is...
Certified.
Wow.
Certified Lover Boy being the next album title makes you at least think, okay, he has a cohesive idea this time. Yeah. Okay, let me get in my bag.
The thing is, the thing about that is that's the Drake that I like.
That's the Drake that everybody likes, but not the Drake that Drake likes.
No. It's not the Drake that everybody likes. It's the Drake that, like, day one Drake fans like that Drake. Yes. But other Drake fans are like, oh, that's too...
He doesn't spit. So it's not the Drake that Drake gives to most people nowadays. It's not bearded Drake.
He can't. Though the only
it's
song...
Not if you're not reading this, it's too late, Drake.
No. The song that came out that was good was that Freestyle.
Chicago?
The one just before this.
Chicago for Freestyle?
No. There was a song that he released right before this that was like it's not really a... It was a freestyle.
Losses?
I think so. Something like that.
See, he has two Drake backs. He has that bars Drake, but basic Drake. Bar structure, but deep bars Drake. And then the emo, this is the bag that only Drake has and none of you niggas is touching it.
But see, he's good at, he knows how to play those two very, very well. Like Drake isn't trying to be a certain thing. Even when he's doing this bar business, he balances it out by doing the other business and like playing it up.
But what I would say is he feels like he doesn't get enough respect on this side to the point where he puts this one like in a corner too often. But he shouldn't have to. Shouldn't have to, but he does. But I think this album, he's implying, okay,
I'm excited for it.
Lover Boy. Okay, let me get into that fucking bag.
I'm excited for it.
Let me just go.
I want an emo Drake album.
Why not?
I want to Take Care. I want Thank Me Later. I want Nothing Was the Same. I want I want this emo shit.
Indeed.
I like the emo Drake. I don't care what anyone says. And I will always like it.
It will inspire some more hard bars naturally.
Probably. He will he'll have those songs. He always has like one or two. If he's waning on either side, he balances it out by having one or two. If he's hard bars, he has like one or two or three emo songs. If he's emo mainly, then he has like one or two hard bar songs.
It'll help the concentration level of the bar tracks by not having as many of them.
But I like the emo Drake. I like that in the video he played with it because he knows that's him. He's like, I don't kill people. I don't drug deal. When he was crying in the bit part, and it's funny. Like he's a funny dude. I like that he's so rich and goaty that he doesn't give a shit about what he does.
More so, he does give a shit to the point where he makes it as vast and broad and expansive of a representation of himself as possible. He doesn't pigeonhole himself.
Yeah, exactly. That's a more accurate presentation of it because he does cheesy things in that video the whole time. Where I'm sure he was thinking, like when they're thinking concept, he's like, it would be so funny if I came out of the water and I turned to the side and I mouthed baby. And then he does it because he just can, you know?
Indeed.
Whereas other people would be like, no, I can't pull that off. He can pull that off.
Indeed.
Because you know that there's a thought process behind it.
It can be respected.
I like that video a lot.
That's his best video in a while.
In a while.
Indeed. Like he actually cared this time.
Yeah. It was
Because
cool.
videos
It
are
was
kind of
funny.
useless when you're at his level. The video is meant to expose the song. It's a waste of his time and money. It
Yeah.
really is.
It was really funny. So I like that one. On the other hand, the WAP video is
What's in this house?
huh?
What's in this house?
Yeah. It's also good. Like
Indeed.
it's exciting. It's kind of reminded me of throwback Missy videos where they're
Yes.
like bizarre and crazy and out there.
They put some time into making this a visual experience.
I think people are too quick to sexualize women. Like they're too quick to be like, oh, it's so. It's like now the video hoe just became the rapper, and it's like, okay, and like what?
I wouldn't say that's too quick to sexualize. I'd say that's too quick to condemn sexuality.
Intention is the same thing. Like people are too quick to put a negative connotation on the sexualization that's in the video, because for me, like there's all these people talking about how this is putting women back 100 years or putting the feminists. I'm like, but isn't this what we fought for?
To do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, isn't this to talk about what we want to talk about, not have to be censored by anybody, not have to talk about things in a way that other people want us to talk about it, to talk about real shit the way that we want to talk about it, to talk about things that happen to us, how
To have
we
complete
feel.
liberty of speech.
Yeah.
And
So
expression.
if anything, this is the pinnacle of feminism. If you really want to talk about what I think personally
Still get that
feminism
paper.
is.
To still get that paper while doing whatever the hell you want to do to get it.
Feminism is choice.
Yeah.
That's it. And you can be male and feminist, but at the end of the day, whatever white feminist made it to be is not what it is for me. What feminism is to me is you just do whatever the fuck you want to do.
And not have a consequence due to the fact of your gender.
Exactly. And so it's not even like, for me, I don't even think the content is controversial, because when I look at the other side of it, it's like dudes talk about anything they want and no one says a thing about it in rap. And so the minute a woman says it, it's like, oh, well, that's inappropriate. It's the same shit. It's just a different gender. It's just different genitalia, but it's the same.
Different deliverer.
Different.
But same package.
Same shit. Like for me personally, I'm just like, this is same shit. It doesn't offend me in any way. If anything, it's like finally things that women think about in their heads that they would get judged for saying out loud because it's too derogatory. That's not the way a lady speaks. Finally, someone's saying them where we can be like, cool. Like
Indeed.
we can rap along and not, because how am I supposed to rap about somebody's dick size? Like if I like a rap song and a hip hop artist is talking about their dick and it talking about all this other stuff, I really can't relate because I don't have a dick. But now I can say these lyrics and be like, sweet, this is what we think. This is what we feel. We don't have to be afraid. We don't have to be judged. So I'm annoyed by people who say shit like that because it's like, nah, this is exactly what we want.
Fair.
Maybe not exactly in terms of like
It's representation of a voice that has not been represented in that manner.
It's representation of a voice
without condemnation.
That women have, but are too afraid to say it because they will be judged. They will be judged as not being a lady or automatically being a whore. Like, if you masturbate as a woman, you're dirty. Really? Like, it's a natural thing to do. Why is it that men can talk about masturbating all the time and it's not considered, no one bats an eyelash about it. But if a female talks about masturbating, they're freaky. But it's just masturbation.
I concur.
I don't get it.
Je concur, man.
But I like the song because I think you're right. We were talking about this before. The Drake song, because it's goaty, that's something for me. I can put in a playlist and I can listen to it over and over again. It will probably not leave the playlist. That's a song it's like timeless. With this song, it's a little more like
it's
trendy.
A moment track.
But it's a good moment. It's like the beat's good. The actual lyrics are good.
Everything hits.
The flow from both of them is good. They have good chemistry as in a collaboration. They rap well with each other. I like both their voices because I personally do not like Nicki Minaj's rapping voice when there's certain
in her Roman mode or whatever.
no, there's
I'm not a big fan of Nicki, to be honest.
I am, but she's like John Legend for me. John Legend is talented.
But it's certain tracks that you like.
Yes, but his also the music that he makes maybe just or like Adele. I think she's a great singer, but all her songs not the most not for me.
Indeed.
Nicki, she's got great songs. She has some really good bangers, but not all of them are for me. Like I wouldn't download a whole Nicki album.
Like I'm not gonna if I hear Super Bass come on, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, that's my jam. Like,
But if I hear Only, I like her verse.
Yes.
If I hear the one she did with Cardi, I like her verse.
Mm-hmm.
When Nicki's on a feature in a predominantly male song, always good.
Yeah.
She's always good because her voice.
She has bars.
Yeah.
And she has delivery, but when she does anything else other than bars,
I don't like it.
It's pop music to me that I don't like.
Yeah. And I don't like her voice. I personally I'm very picky with voices. So if I don't like the sound that I'm hearing, I can't listen to it. I like Cardi's voice. I like Megan's voice a lot. Megan's voice reminds me of like a perfect cross between Kim and Foxy Brown.
That's fair.
Perfect cross.
Assessment.
Because Kim's
it's
voice
got presence without trying to sound too much like a presence.
Yeah.
It's just natural. Like she sounds like she should be rapping.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like Missy's voice too.
Yeah.
Missy is one of the best people who can change her voice and still sound amazing in whatever like style or character that she's rapping. Mm-hmm. She's just that talented. Whereas Nicki, I think she tries to do that, but I don't like it.
Yeah. I'd like to know how much of the song was co-written by other people aside from those two, and for which portions. I'm very curious if they'll break it down. Probably not ever, but I'm curious because I have confidence in Megan's ability to execute her verse in terms of creating it in her own mind and navigating that very fine line of suggesting this in a way that is very clear to the audience, but not crossing a line in terms of censorship and having this song be able to reach as broad of a spectrum as possible without limit. I have confidence in her ability to manage that task for her entire responsibility in that song, writing, delivering, cadence, and all that. For Cardi, I don't have as much of a example base to deduce that she's capable of navigating a vocabulary well enough to execute the wordplay that was executed so pristinely.
The lyrics are quite good in this song.
It's executed to perfection with word choice in every subtle way.
From a writer perspective.
Yes.
Not even a rap writer, but as a writer, as a person who is like, if you're able to understand the concepts of wordplay and diction and all these different things, and if you look at it as a piece of literature, it's a really well written piece of literature. However anybody wants to cut it up, even Megan's, the whole song, for if you know that there are two voices and you read it, it's a good piece of literature.
Indeed.
Just it's very clever. It's really, really clever writing. Even the timing, how everything goes, it's very cleverly laid out.
I want to know how much of Cardi B's verse she wrote. I really do. And it sounds like it's slander, but the results of the information, I think, would confirm the reason for the intrigue. It's sincere
I wonder
curiosity
if it would be
of knowledge.
Males who wrote it.
Whoever wrote it, I think a man or a woman could write to that level. It's just I don't think her ability could get to that level.
No. I know that they can write to that level, but I wonder how, if people knew that a male wrote the lyrics for this, what the difference would be.
None for me, because I expect it almost.
I think it would make a difference for me, because then it's just like it doesn't change how good the song is. Like that doesn't change, but I think it's like one level down of it being
empowering.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's fair.
Because you're like, oh dang.
No, but truth.
We were close.
But truth is truth. Whoever delivers it, it might be an inconvenient truth, but it's still the truth. If a man can deduce that that's a woman's thoughts, if anything, more power to him.
More power to him, but it's not more power to her.
Yeah, but it's her didn't write it then.
What?
If it's not whoever wrote it.
Yeah. And I don't take away from that. I'm just saying the whole context of the song, that one piece is a piece, like knowing that Megan wrote her words, it's even regardless.
It takes away from the totality of the
effect, like the context of it. So it's not to take away from anybody's talent or anybody's ability to deduce or anything like that. It's just like, well, it's still a good song. Like, you know, like
you
it's
couldn't
not
find a black woman to be your VP, like that
kind of thing, you know, like it's just that piece where it's like,
let's consciously try to break this trend and make it as female as possible.
Yeah. Which is, you know, at the same time too, it's not like anybody's wishing for it. It's still put, like most people probably will not look for that.
Yeah.
They're not going to go and be like, okay, well, who wrote what pieces? They're not, maybe not going to go that deep. For the people who do go deep, like myself
It'll
or
be
you.
like a little bit. Yeah.
Just
absolutely.
a little, you know? But it's like, yeah. But the good thing about it, though, is that, as you're saying, like, Cardi B she's not going to hide. They're not going to hide it. They're going to be like, yeah, this dude wrote it. That's great. Or these were our ideas. We collaborated this way. It's still going to be positive in any case. It's just that one thing where you're like, if it was, it would be pristine, but it doesn't mean that it's not great, regardless. It doesn't mean that it's not still doing the things that we want it to do.
Even if you have a project that helps the Caribbean sustain itself and there's 5 black brothers involved and then you have this Asian person working behind the scenes getting it all done well, it's still good. There's no, you're just like, see what I'm saying, nigga?
Anyways.
Il y a des putes dans cette maison, man.
I think we're about done here.
Ben oui.
Thus concludes episode 8 of our podcast.
Which is called Il y a des putes dans cette maison. There are some whores in this house. That's it.
Why did we name it that? Why did you name it that?
While I was in the shower, I was thinking of the French translation of "There's some whores in this house," and I thought, hey, why not?
Where did that phrase come from?
There's some from WAP.
Not everybody might know that.
Oh, wet ass pussy. But in the video version, they reverse a slight portion of the word whore, and it goes, "There's some whores in this house," so it can pass, you know. Nobody knows they're saying whores. Think of Usher when he was like, "You know this song? I'm gonna fuck you right out with." You know he's saying, "I'm gonna fuck you."
Oh, I'll freak you right away.
Yeah, exactly. Same
Great
concept.
song. I love Usher.
But you got to be at GOAT status or approaching it where they let you skirt those rules or bend
Cardi
those rules.
is.
Yeah.
I believe Cardi will at some point she will automatically become GOAT status.
Yes, she's a
well
rule
on
bender.
her way. Yeah.
They'll allow her videos saying whore to play on primetime TV, but my song got relegated to much vibe because, you know,
okay.
we were
It's
just
not
saying
about
bad
you.
thing. It's okay.
Does everybody like his hair? He looks like Sailor Chippy Moon. Does anybody know who that is? It's Sailor
Rini.
Moon and Tuxedo Mask Kid Rini. There's even these. She has these. I had a coloring book where she had these
beautiful.
things. Anyways, thank you for listening.
I need to see my hairdresser in Vancouver soon. Can't wait to see it. Tasha,
me too.
I need
Emmy,
help.
bless your soul. Please
help.
save my life.
Oui, oui. Until next week, man. À la prochaine. Some whores in this house.